Welcome back, everybody. Tonight we're bringing back another classic segment to the channel, and that is Pinterest challenges. We haven't done one of these in a while, and this one's going to be really incredible. Tonight we're going to be making some really incredible cheesy garlic chicken wraps. The original author of this recipe, I do believe, is Then and Now Recipes. I am super terrible at remembering these authors' names, so when it comes time to edit the video, their actual names will be right here somewhere. And as always, the link to the original recipe will be in the description. This is actually a really interesting recipe, and I really like this one. But as always, there's some ways to really improve and elevate it. The number one issue I have with this is the garlic sauce they're using on the chicken. They don't list a recipe on how to make it. They used a store brand one, but they also did not list which one they use. And guys, if you're making this for the first time, how are you going to know which one to choose from? Will any garlic sauce work? I don't know, but ours will. So we're going to be making our own garlic sauce from scratch. And the original recipe says it only takes about 25 minutes to put theirs together. I'm willing to bet ours will take about the same amount of time making everything from scratch. So with that being said, we can't finish if we don't start. So let's get to it. And in front of me are 3 boneless, skinless chicken breasts that I've kept whole and just trimmed. And then we're just going to season it with 1 teaspoon of kosher salt, 2 teaspoons of garlic powder, 1 teaspoon of onion powder, 1 teaspoon of parsley, and 1 teaspoon of a good smoked paprika. Regular paprika will work, and then some fresh cracked black pepper. This is basically identical to the seasoning they wanted you to use in the original Pinterest recipe. This seasoning blend seems pretty strong, so I decided to not mess with it. And as always, we're going to make sure we generously season both sides. And once that's done, let's go ahead and take it to the stove so we can get cooking. And in a nice large pan over medium-high heat, we're going to go ahead and very gently lay down our chicken breasts, making sure they have adequate space to cook, and then we're going to let them sear off for about 4 minutes. And yes, guys, this is a brand new pan, because as you saw in my last episode, my old trusty black pan nearly killed my potatoes, so there's no room for that. So after 4 minutes, you can see we've clearly developed a really great crust. So we're just going to flip these bad boys over and let the other side cook for another 4 minutes. And once that's done, we're going to give them another turn. And guys, look at that. That is absolutely beautiful chicken. And then we're going to pop them into the oven on 425 degrees Fahrenheit and allow them to cook the rest of the way for about 15 minutes. Now that that's in there, let's go ahead and get started with our sauce. Let's make a quick garlic sauce. So in a sauce pot over medium-high heat, I've just tossed in a half a stick of butter, and in this measuring cup I have packed in half a cup of flour, 1 teaspoon of kosher salt, and 2 teaspoons of garlic powder. And we're going to get that nice and combined, and we're going to let that cook out for about 1.5 minutes, maybe 2 minutes, until it's all nice and blonde, and we don't have any raw flour in the bottom of the pot. And then we're going to slowly add in 1 cup of milk, hydrating in batches before adding more. Now I know there's 1,000 different ways to make garlic sauce. This is just a quick way that doesn't require a whole lot of work. Alright, so after we've gotten all that nice milk added in, it's still a little bit dry for me, so we're going to keep that emergency milk on hand to thin it out because, guys, this is a sauce. We need to be able to spread it evenly and loosely over this chicken, so we don't want a goopy sort of mac and cheese style bechamel. And after we've gotten the sauce to the right consistency and it's back up to heat, we're going to add in 1 teaspoon of parsley and then some nice cracked black pepper. And then we're going to mix it together until it's nice and combined. And honestly, this is going to continue to cook and thicken. So don't put away your milk just yet because we are going to need it. Again, we need this to be thick but drizzleable, pourable. And then once we've gotten it to the right consistency, we're going to give it a little taste test. And it tastes amazing, guys. I wish you could taste this through the screen. And then we're going to take it off the heat and let it set. And then our chicken should be out shortly. And we're going to give it a little bit of rest. And then we're going to start working on assembling our wraps. And now that our chickies have gotten their beauty rest, it's time to go ahead and start slicing these bad boys up. You don't want to make them too thick because then it's going to make your wrap hard to kind of, well, wrap. So I'm shooting for probably anywhere between 1/4 to 1/2 inch thickness, probably closer to 1/2 inch. And then we're going to repeat this process for all of our beautiful chicken. And take a look at that. That is beautifully cooked, juicy chicken. And now that we've gotten everything sliced up and put to the side, we're going to go ahead and take this large flour tortilla and line it from end to end with this beautiful garlic sauce. Don't worry if it looks too thick. That additional heat, because we're toasting these, is going to turn it into a thinner, luxurious, melty type of garlic sauce. And then we're going to start piling on our beautifully cut chicken. I'm going to stop just short of the end of the line over here. We want some space to make sure that we can wrap it. And then we're going to pile on some nice, beautiful, freshly shredded Colby Jack cheese. The original recipe called for mozzarella and cheddar. This has all those qualities in one cheese. And originally, I was going to try to wrap it like a traditional sort of wrap with one end open, but I realized that wasn't going to work. So we're going to roll it just like a burrito, take it to the stove, and then place it seam side down on a nice wide skillet over medium-high heat. And after about 2.5 minutes, this is what we got. We want to see some toasting and some sealage on this bottom side. We're going to apply some pressure and let it cook for about another 2 to 3 minutes. And this is what we have, guys. And we're going to cut it diagonally to make some nice looking wraps. Well, if I can cut properly, that is. And then take a look at that. This is an amazing, melty, beautiful work of art. Let's dig in because this smells amazing. All right, guys, and that is a wrap. Now, ours did take a little bit longer, and I'm sure I could have saved some time if I wasn't messing with the lighting and the camera. But this took us about maybe 27, 30 minutes. Probably about 30 minutes, really, from start to finish, which is still within weeknight gourmet territory. We only spent 5 minutes more, and that was spent making this sauce. And for something that's completely from scratch, I think it'll be worth it. So let's give it a shot. Some creamy, cheesy action here. Oh, man. Right here where the cheese melts with the garlic sauce. That's the bite. Super amazing. I know you guys probably said, hey, you're burritoing it, not wrapping it. But in order to melt the cheese and to give us that cross section and keep everything within, you needed it closed, and then you split it down the middle, and it becomes these incredible wraps. There's no way that this is a burrito. This is something that's light. It's delicious. The Pinterest-inspired herb rub that I used, I don't know what kind of garlic sauce that they were using in theirs because they didn't mention it, which I feel is bad housekeeping because, in my opinion, if you're putting content out on the internet for people to follow and perhaps try, even if, you're planning not to make everything from scratch, it would be nice to know what you use to get the same results. Without it, you're kind of lost, in my opinion. But now you don't even need to go to the store for a garlic sauce. We made an incredible killer garlic sauce right here tonight. Perfectly cooked, herbed, juicy chicken. Guys, this is way better than anything you can get pre-made or store-bought. And it only takes 30 minutes. This is a great light dinner. Great for lunch. Anything in between. This is not going to weigh you down, and it's full on flavor. If you like this kind of content, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.